Pisces, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. We're going to do a Celtic cross, see what's going on for you. Keep in mind, hello, Max. Keep in mind that Pisces doesn't have to be your sun, your moon, your rising, or your Venus. It can be any placement, or it could just simply be a house that Pisces occupies. Or you could simply be called to this reading by the title. I trust that there is something in here for you. All right. I'm not doing traditional tarot. I'm not doing a traditional tarot deck. I didn't do it for Virgo. And I'm not doing it for you. This is what I'm called to. I don't know if I'll be called to do this for the rest of the zodiacs, but we'll see. Hey, man. It's my spirit team that tells me what's going on. All right, what is going on for Pisces, please? What is going on? You're having a breakthrough. Something's coming through. It's, your mental's thoughts on it right now. The challenge is we've got Jupiter. So this is about taking action, inspired risk. Okay. The root, okay, we've got self-care. In the recent past, it's like the Nine of Cups. We've got some wish fulfillment. All right. Your higher self, we've got Neptune. In your immediate future, we've got, trust the divine timing. Okay. How do you feel or think? Okay, we've got six of wands, ego. One's around you. Wounded, rejection. Five of Pentacles. Your hopes and fears, we've got control. Outcome, we have the masculine. Masculine energy. So that does not mean that this is solely for a masculine. Could very well be a feminine. This could be your reading, and the outcome means getting into your masculine energy. Okay. Ooh, all right. So, like I said, right off the bat, currently we've got Ace of Air. So you're having a breakthrough, right? You're getting a truth. The challenge is the risk. Jupiter. That's that is the planet of growth, expansion, good fortune, opportunities, could be miracles, and simply travel. So it's like you're clear on something, you're having a breakthrough, but it's like you're scared of taking a risk on it, right? Making an action towards whatever this is. Now, the whole root of this is self-care. So your energy, whatever is happening currently, your energy is feeling depleted, right? It's low. You're not doing enough for yourself. And this is interesting because we have Chiron in Taurus right now. And so for Pisces, it's about opening up, trusting what it is you have to say. What you have to say matters. And being authentic about what you need to say. And maybe there's something you've been holding back on saying, and it's draining you holding on to this truth. Now, in the recent past, you have a wish fulfillment. So, you were achieving something, right? Something you wanted, you were doing it, it was happening, you were going after it, you felt, you were feeling connected, emotionally connected, and you were in a good place. But your higher self, we've got Neptune. So this is where things, it's the rose-colored glasses, right? Because, I mean, there's the rose-colored glasses. It's like you might be a little confused on something because you're still not clear, right? Even though you're having the breakthrough, your higher self is still in a state of confusion, right? So it's like that's the message that I feel is coming to you and providing the breakthrough is, hey, you're not seeing something clearly, which is probably why there's a challenge with you taking the risk. So what's going to come up for you in the immediate future? We've got the trust, the divine timing. So this is a card about releasing the control of an outcome, right? So sometimes when we take risks, it's called a risk for a reason because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. So we're going to take a gamble on it and hope for the best, or take that calculated risk, hoping it's going to come out. So in the near future, you're going to learn to trust. You're going to release control, right? You're like, I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to trust that this is the divine timing for me to take this risk. That's good. So you're going to, take the hands off the steering wheel and let the universe drive. Your current thoughts and feelings, well, this is the Six of Wands. So, you're still a little bound to the expectations of something. And that's very much working through your ego, right? Because it's, okay, I'm going to take this risk. You need to release control because you don't know how it's going to turn out, but yet you're still kind of having some pride, right? It's wanting a specific outcome, even though you need to release the control. So those around you, they're feeling left out. This is very much the Five of Pentacles in traditional tarot. So it's left out in the cold, financial loss. But whatever it is that you want to do, you want to take this risk on, those around you are feeling left out in the cold. And that might be part of your struggle with taking the risk on what this is that's going to make you happy. Your hopes and fears, well, we've got the control, the sabotage. So this is the Five of Swords. I think you're worried about those around you having, words to say, maybe hurtful, because when somebody is feeling rejected, left out in the cold, when they're working from their lower vibration self, they're going to have the manipulation tactics towards you, right? They're going to want to argue with you. They might want to say something. And I think that's a fear of yours, which is why you're struggling to take this risk on what it is that you want. Maybe there's something you want to leave. maybe there's a group, maybe there's a job, maybe there's, friends. I don't know what that is. This is going to be different for everybody, but there's something that's depleting your energy. And so you need to trust that it's okay to take this calculated risk. And the outcome could be, you actually stepping into your masculine energy. You're being more confident in your decisions. You're going to be more assertive, right? Like I said, with Chiron being in Taurus, Pisces, I just did that quick video. That is very much about your voice mattering, right? So it's, maybe you need to speak up about needing more time for yourself so you can have self-care. Maybe that's part of it as well, is you're not necessarily leaving anybody out in the cold. You are in a position where you need to take time for yourself, right? Your energy's low. Maybe whoever this is, or this group, or these coworkers, lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, family, whatever that is, they're just feeling like they're being left out in the cold because you simply need to take time for yourself, which is incorrect. You're aware that there's going to be some arguments, conflict, words, because you want to take some time for yourself. This is interesting. You're going to be in a position where you're going to be learning to protect yourself, protect your energy. I think maybe this is just some energy vampires that are around you, and you're not sure about it with the Neptune, right? Your higher self is like, not sure about this. Could there be some codependency on you? Possibly. All right. So let's jump into the breakthrough. What was this breakthrough? Because maybe there was something they did, maybe there was something they said, maybe there was something you noticed where you're like, ooh, you guys are like bloodsuckers. You're sucking my energy, and I need time for myself. I gotta pull away. All right, what is this? All right, what is this breakthrough? Page of Swords. Okay. Queen of Cups. The Hierophant. I get this feeling this is you learning that you're more open emotionally to, it's like you're having new beliefs, right? You're changing your beliefs. And you're possibly you're realizing you need to speak up about what it is you feel and what you believe in. Okay. Can we get something more on that? Ace of Pentacles, that's opportunities. You have other opportunities that you're learning about. And it's changing your beliefs. So what is this risk? With Jupiter, the action. Taking the action. The Nine of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Swords. The Seven of Cups. That's confusion, illusion. You're getting clear that you don't have to struggle to be in connections, right? So it's not, you don't have to wear yourself out chasing any opportunities of love or connection. Remember, in the past, you had the wish fulfillment. So in the recent past, you were achieving connections that made you feel good. But somehow you've been connected with somebody that's drained your energy, but now you're going to get clear and realize you don't have to wear yourself out, deplete your energy to be connected with anybody who enters your life. That's what you're getting clear on. You know, you might be one who is doing more than you have to in a connection, and that's why your overall card of the root cause of everything is needing self-care, needing time to yourself, because you're depleting your energy by doing everything for others. Now, these connections, I don't know. You know, Hierophant can be marriage, can be high level commitment. But I feel very much like it's just your beliefs are changing and understanding that you don't have to deplete yourself to be in any connection. Okay. So tell me about the Five of Pentacles here. Tell me about the Five of Pentacles, please, Spirit. There's the King of Wands. The Knight of Swords. The Star. So I don't know who this is to you, but who's going to feel left out in the cold when you decide to break away, take some time for yourself, right? They're fully aware that, so the King of Wands is somebody who is an entrepreneur. remember I said you had opportunities and you were getting clear on all these opportunities. This is going to be different for everybody, right? Some of you, this is cup of love. You know, some of you, this is a successful business that you are building, because the King of Wands is passionate, they're good looking, but they're also the entrepreneur. And this, whoever feels left out realizes, oh, star, you know, you're out there. People are seeing you. They're noticing you. You're becoming successful. And here they're like, you know, you're a fearless person that has this vision and goes after it. Or for others, it's, you know, you're good looking. You're going to, you know, shine. You're going to be noticed. People are going to want to be with you. They're going to want to date you because you're out there. You're popular, right? And, you know, I think they think others are going to rush in to be with you because of all the fire energy you have. And you're just shining bright, like totally bright. Okay. Let's talk about the Six of Wands for you, for your current thoughts and feelings. Tell me about this. The World. Oh. Oh. The Knight of Wands. The Moon. The Queen of Wands. Ew. You have... You're currently realizing that when you close this cycle out and you open a new one, your passion is going to open back up. You've been hiding this. You've been keeping this very quiet with the Moon. There is a Queen of Wands that you have your eye on. You're the King of Wands. Remember I said out there in the public, being popular, shining the star, people rushing in to talk to you. You're a fearless person because you're out there, you're looking good, you're feeling good. And there's a Queen of Wands you have your eye on that you have not said anything about. And you're ready to close out the cycle with whoever this is, and you're ready to move towards this Queen of Wands. This is your expectation. So you do have your eye on somebody. And you're hoping to be successful moving towards them, moving your passion, your energy towards them to open a new door because you've been successful closing out an old one. That's what you expect. Okay. So what is this sabotage? Maybe you're afraid you'll sabotage with the Queen of Wands because you've got others around you that are feeling left out in the cold and lost. So what is this for the hopes and fears, the control? Yeah. Eight of Swords. More spirit, please. Yeah, the Four of Cups. The Page of Pentacles. Yeah. You're afraid that you're going to sabotage it with this Queen of Wands. it's like you're afraid that you're not going to be able to be you're not it's like you're not it's like you're afraid you're going to feel disconnected in trying to make a solid connection with this Queen of Wands. It's almost like you are afraid you're going to feel stuck in your own mind. That you're not going to be able to make this real. To have something solid. You're afraid at some point you're going to feel disconnected and have trust issues. But why? Your outcome is the masculine energy. Why? Why would Pisces feel like they're going to self-sabotage this? Like, the Six of Swords, the Nine of Cups. It's like mentally you think that you're not going to be able to have wish fulfillment. You're not going to be able to be emotionally fulfilled, even though you had it in the past. So whoever you're connected to is totally messing with you. I feel like I'm talking to a Pisces who was completely confident in the recent past, right? Somehow you've connected with somebody who's made you feel, or it's like they wanted to shrink you. And it's almost working. Okay, how? No, Pisces. I didn't put this deck face down. But on the bottom of this deck, it's the Two of Cups. Are you worried that this Queen of Wands that you secretly have your eye on, are you worried that they're not going to feel the same way about you? And so that's why your mind is having trouble moving towards calming your mind, saying, I can have wish fulfillment. I can have this person that I want with the Two of Cups. You're afraid there won't be the same feelings. How does this Queen of Wands feel about Pisces? Strength, the Sun. Boy, that heart chakra is open for you. Look at that. Happy, warm. Compassion. They want you. Who is this person? Tell me more about this person. Not that I really want to talk about them, but it's kind of like they're behind the scenes manipulating things, because I can't really get them to come out into the reading. I know they're there because I see all the energy. I see what's happening. I see you stuck in your head. You were very confident and you had a wish fulfillment. You felt emotionally stable all by yourself in the past. Somehow you've connected to somebody that's completely messed with you. But I love the outcome because you're going to get your confidence back. But who the heck? Can you give me some idea on who this is for the collective? I mean, it's feminine energy. They're insecure. They're codependent. Remember here, your higher self with the illusions and the rose-colored glasses. You were asking yourself, could there be codependency? So you have a feminine energy that is in low energy. So a divine feminine does not suck somebody's energy. They're not codependent. When they're in low vibration, yes, they're going to be codependent. So there is another feminine energy. So tell me about the divine masculine for this outcome. Oh. So this is winter. You had a rebirth this last winter. You went through a rebirth. You had an awakening. You started transitioning. And you had a rebirth. It was this last winter. So whoever, this may have been somebody from last year, the year before that you connected with. And then you started to have this rebirth and realize that whoever you were connected with was depleting you. And you started to wake up to it. That's why you have the ace. The very first card down is the clarity, the breakthrough. And you realize that there's more out there for you. You don't have to deplete yourself. And you already have your eye on somebody. Oh my gosh. Pisces, this is a head trip. Goodness gracious. All right, so let's get an emotional card for Pisces. Oops. Yeah, you're going to get through this, but there's tension right now while getting through it, and it makes total sense because we are in Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer. It is a water sign. People are going to want to come back and revisit. So if you over the winter have been trying to break away from somebody, but you've had your eye on somebody else, this other feminine is trying to get back into your energy. Okay? But you've already had the breakthrough. Now it's using your words, because remember, Chiron in Taurus, your words matter. So you need to speak truth to this person, if that makes sense. All right, so give me a card for Pisces, please. Faith. Faith is a powerful belief that keeps you unwavering in the face of challenges. Faith is not blind. Remember the Eight of Swords came out? That's you blinding yourself, thinking you're stuck in your own mind fighting. Faith is not blind. It is a deep trust in yourself and the universe. Universe's power. When faith appears, it reminds you to stay true to your beliefs. Now, do you remember the Hierophant came out and I said you were changing your beliefs, right? There you go. You were changing your beliefs the whole time. You realize you don't have to stay stuck with somebody who depletes you. If they're not able to come to the table, whether it's romance, whether it's a business partnership, a collaboration, whatever that is. I don't care if it's a neighbor and you guys are going to have a block party. You can't do it all by yourself. If they are going to join you, they need to come in and help you and not deplete your energy. So that's why they feel left out of the cold. They feel financially, if it's a business, that's why they feel financially, in poverty, right? They don't have you there to help bring the financials in because they're not doing anything. And if you pull your energy away and you go do something else, they're stuck by themselves. That's it. You had a breakthrough over this last winter. And probably during spring, you started to realize, I need to save my energy for myself. And you have your eye on somebody. Now, I know how they feel about you. I don't know how it's going to work out, but you are going to find yourself being confident enough to reach out to this person. Let's get an emotional card for this Queen of Wands that Pisces has their eye on. Let's check that out. Please. The Queen of Wands. There we go. Release. Release is the process of letting go of emotions or material things that no longer serve you, making space for new opportunities. Release does not mean giving up, but giving yourself the chance to begin again. Oh, that's why you were happy in the recent past. You've already connected with this person, but you had somebody else coming back into your energy that pulled you away, and that's why it became a secret in the moon. That you wanted to be able to have a new cycle with this person. You wanted to see them again. You wanted to start over. And they had to release you, right? Because you had another feminine energy coming into your world. And now they have to release what happened in the past to begin again. So you may have just kind of had a brief encounter that was quick and it didn't really go anywhere. It didn't get off the ground because you were still connected to another energy. And so they had to release, but yet sometimes you have to release somebody who's not finished, or they have unfinished business, which I believe you did. You had unfinished business and you had to go back and deal with it, even though they didn't want you to leave. You're gaining the strength. You're realizing it's just not for you. You realized you were happy reconnecting with somebody in the past. Wow. Pisces, that was a lot. But at the end of the day, I love that you're stepping into your masculine energy. You're making decisions that are right for you. You went back and you handled your unfinished business, or you're going to, I should say. You're not really done with it. We're all on different timelines, but you're doing it. And you're going to have to be sure to not let the fears pop up that you can't reapproach this person, because I can tell you their heart chakra is still open towards you. Okay? Pisces, this is what I have for you today. I love you guys. Until the next one, I'll talk to you soon.